are Lagos Talks 91.3.
Let's talk.
All right, so this morning, we've got this very big one. Birmingham opened its Commonwealth Games in spectacular style with a captivating, hopeful ceremony at Alexander Stadium. Nobel Peace Prize laureate Malala Yousafzai, Nobel Peace Prize laureate Malala emphasized the importance of education in a surprise appearance as the baton really concluded. But the biggest shock perhaps came when a 10 meters tall animatronic bull came streaming into the stadium as part of a ceremony that celebrated the multiculturalism of both Birmingham and the Commonwealth Games. The games are officially open with events beginning today, and more than 5,000 athletes representing 72 nations and territories competing in 280 medal events until the 8th of August.
And the organisers of the Commonwealth Games have defended its relevance on the eve of the competition, arguing that it continues to thrive. Speaking before the ceremony, Kate Sadleir, the CEO of the Commonwealth Games Federation, was adamant that the event has not become irrelevant. Among the issues in recent years has been the cost of hosting the games, with Durban and South Africa dropping out due to financial constraints. But Sadleir identified one of the biggest challenges as appealing to younger audiences. Our organization has tried to tackle that by initiating the first Commonwealth Esports Championships. In addition to its relevance, the colonial origins of the Commonwealth Games are a point of discussion. But Martin did not want to address that topic, and he said, all I will say is we are one family. Our 72 nations and territories, we all speak the same language.
Well, locally, the Nigerian Volleyball Federation has invited 21 players to the camp of the Under-19 Boys National Team ahead of next month's African Under-19 Boys Nations Cup in Morocco. Now, the 2022 African Under-19 Boys Nations Championship is scheduled for the 1st to the 12th of September in El Jadida and Casablanca. According to a statement from the Federation, the head coach of Sunshine Spikers, Adeni Adekalo, has been drafted to handle the Under-19 Boys team and will be assisted by coach of Kada Emeralds, Vincent Unogo. The Under-19 team list consists 7 Volleyball Premier League players, 5 National Division 1 League players, 7 National Division 2 League players, and 2 non-league players who are currently camped in Kaduna State.
And fellow multiple world champions Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso have paid tribute to Sebastian Vettel after he announced his retirement. The 4-time champion said on Thursday that he will step away from F1 at the end of this season. Hamilton and Alonso, whose careers have paralleled Vettel's, both described him as a legend of our sport. And Hamilton praised Vettel's move towards activism, especially on the climate crisis in recent years.
Well, from football stories, the battle for a national title and a 2022-23 CAF Confederation Cup ticket heightens this weekend as competition in the 2022 Aiteo Federation Cup enters the round of 64. Now, the annual national football competition began on Tuesday with the preliminary round fixtures. The qualifiers have now advanced to the round of 64 stage to face some of the seeded teams, which include several former national FA Cup and Federation Cup winners. We also know for the women's event, the round of 32 starts this weekend, with games coming through all across the various venues in Nigeria. There'll be results of this and more in our subsequent bulletin as well on Monday.
Club Brugge have officially sold David Okereke to Cremonese, formerly selling striker Okereke to newly promoted Cremonese. It is not a new experience for him, as the Nigerian centre forward spent last season on loan at Venezia. And Super Eagles winger Ademola Lookman is set to move to Bergamo, where he will team up with Atalanta. The Gianpiero Gasperini-led Atalanta will complete the former Charlton Athletic winger signing in the coming days, as both parties have agreed personal terms.
Well, we've also got this story. Ukrainian officials have condemned Turkish football fans who chanted Russian leader Vladimir Putin's name at the Champions League clash in Istanbul. Now, thousands of Fenerbahce supporters joined in the chant after their team conceded a goal to Ukrainian champions Dynamo Kiev. Ukrainian ambassador Vasily Bodnar said the incident had saddened him deeply. Now, Dynamo Kiev won the match 2-1, having drawn 0-0 in the first leg played in Poland because of Russia's invasion. The chants appeared to have been sparked after Dynamo midfielder Vitaly Boyarsky celebrated giving his side the lead by making an eagle gesture with hands which some fans believe to be a nod to Fenerbahce's arch rivals, Besiktas.
And former Arsenal, Tottenham, and Northern Ireland manager Terry Neal has passed away at age 80. Neal, who also represented Arsenal for 11 years as a player, became the youngest player to captain the Gunners in 1962. He went on to manage them between 1976 and 1983, leading Arsenal to 1979 FA Cup glory amid a run to 3 successive finals. He arrived back at Highbury as manager after a 2-year spell up the Seven Sisters Road at Tottenham, where he had replaced the great Bill Nicholson. Arsenal said in a statement, it was with great sadness that the club learned of the death of former manager and captain Terry Neal, aged 80. Terry was associated with the club for over 20 years, firstly as a player, having joined us as a 17-year-old from Bangor City in his native Northern Ireland in December 1959. And finally, Alexander Usyk versus Anthony Joshua 2 is just over 3 weeks away, but it seems no matter the result, we will see AJ back in the ring later this year too. In September last year, Joshua suffered what was the second loss of his career when he was masterfully outboxed over 12 rounds by Usyk, and he subsequently lost his WBA, WBO, and IBF heavyweight titles. And now Joshua has a chance at redemption when he meets Usyk once again in the ring on the 20th of August in Saudi Arabia, and he has labeled himself the comeback king ahead of the fight as he looks to regain his belt. In a recent interview, Joshua's promoter at the end was asked whether the Brit will be fighting again this year after the Usyk fight, and he replied, yes, absolutely. One of the problems we've had with AJ, of course, is activity, and a lot of that is down to COVID, and a lot of that is because he only fights twice a year. And that's about it on the new sound.
We are Lagos Talks 91.3.
Let's talk.